Welcome into Coach's Corner East on this Wednesday, the 17th of August, and it's football season, and we're going to be talking with the Crestline Bulldogs as they get ready for their opening game this weekend. The show is brought to you in part by Lee Plymouth and Brad Seibert, at the Plymouth Insurance Group, Gallion and Bucyrus, North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center, North Walnut Street, across from the courthouse at Bucyrus. Phil and Sue Schreck at Phil's Deli, just east of the Pizza Hut here in Gallion at the Bridge, and John Rolls at John's Auto Repair Specialist, 800 Scott Street in Crestline. And filling in tonight for new head football coach at Crestline, Michael Winland, it's Gary Wright, and thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask some specific questions to Coach Winland about his past, but you know his past because you spent time. He was a graduate of Carrollton High School. He's been at Connaughton Valley and at Strasburg, but he's now at Crestline and bringing a little different idea, different approach. As an assistant coach, how have you kind of transferred in and from what Coach King did in the past to what Coach Winland's doing now?
Yeah, it's a transition for sure, but I think it's a needed one. We are starting to really get the idea of what it takes to be a successful program, and we've built off of that from the last 3 years. And I think we're going to start turning that corner this year.
Good. Last year, another tough year, 0-9 overall, 0-6 in the Northwest Central Conference. You lose some key seniors, specifically Connor Lusk, Josh Hall, Brandon Hiles, Lucas Cochran. But it's also a team, and numbers have always been an issue. They're going to continue to be an issue this year. But a lot of these kids got a lot of playing time last year, and that has to make not only you but Coach Winland pretty happy as well.
Yeah, it's really evident. The ninth graders from last year, this year as sophomores, have really stepped up and are taking on those starting roles and really filling in. Kenny Simpson, for example, has really stepped up to be an integral part on the offensive line. Finn Belsick, one of the smartest kids on the team, I ask him to learn every position because I know he can. And the aggressiveness of them has really improved from last year to this year. Other freshmen that we have are also stepping in. Brett Tooney's going to start out at center this year.
Okay.
We're going to try him there, and hopefully he can do it. He's big enough to. He's like, 6'8", something like that. He's really tall. Not quite that tall, but he's a big kid, 300 plus pounds. So, we're asking some freshmen and sophomores to step up to help these seniors out.
Yeah, very good. And it's interesting. I went to your scrimmage at Willard and had a chance to kind of watch and observe and talk to some of the kids. And you mentioned the freshmen, and I was talking to Finnegan Belsick, and he didn't have that deer in the headlights look that he had last year. It was just a different look. I could see it in his eyes and the way that he was executing. And that's 1 year of experience of getting kind of your head beat around a little bit, not literally, but and having to go through that. And that's got to be important to give you guys a little more comfort.
Yeah, absolutely. It also adds into the versatility of the guys because they're able to do a lot more than they were last year. So instead of just one position, we can have them learning multiple positions.
Yeah, for sure. Coach Winland brings a new offense, kind of some would argue maybe a Stone Age offense, but it's a smart offense for what you're trying to get accomplished here. Again, with low numbers, you need to control the football. You want to shorten that game as much as possible, and you're deploying the triple option offense.
Absolutely. So it plays to our strengths. We have 3 fast slots that can get outside and be gone before you even know it. Jake Bruce up the middle. He's going to plow some people over. Trevor's smart enough to be able to make those reads and run it if he has to. And through all of that, we have 2 sophomores that are capable catchers outside. So if we do need to pass, we can.
Yeah, very good. And I'm sure you want to keep the other team's defense on the field as long as you can. Gas them out a little bit,
yeah.
and it really becomes a physical mentality. It's will against will, and when you can start having guys, be it your lineman or be it Jake, that's going to go through the hole and start knocking some people around, it starts to wear not only physically but mentally the defensive well, saying, man, I got to put up with this all stinking night long.
I wouldn't want to get hit by him over and over.
No.
So I can only imagine a 15, 16, 17-year-old is going to say the same thing. But, that's part of it. And our mentality has to be, if we get down, not to give up. Too much last year, I think, when things started to go wrong, they went real wrong real fast.
Right.
And with this offense, we've got to stay out of that mindset, because at any time we're going to break one, or eventually, like you said, they're just going to kind of wear down, and we'll be able to have success. It might not mean that we're playing in front all the time, though.
Right.
And so if we give up, then we're at a disadvantage.
Coach Winland told me stay on schedule. I'm sure you've heard that quite a bit during practice. Stay on schedule, meaning do what's expected. And if, simple math, public school math tells me 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards on first, second, third is a first down. So if you can continue to bust that, and eventually, as you mentioned, something's going to break and someone's going to have a defensive lapse and you're going to bust one for sure.
Yeah, and really we have 4 downs. I don't see us punting very often, so we have 4 downs.
Yeah. What did Woody Hayes say? We punt on 4th down only because we have to?
Yeah, I mean,
or
if
because
it's
we
close,
have 4 downs or something like that?
If it's close, we're probably going for it.
Yeah, very good. Defensively, any changes there in your scheme?
Yeah, so defensively we're going to do a 4-4 that's pretty versatile. This week it's not going to quite look that way, just based off of what the other team's doing. But I think we have enough athletes to be able to employ that pretty effective.
Okay. Scrimmages, I was at the Willard one and I saw some good things there, saw some opportunities to get better. How did the one versus Hilltop go at home?
Really good. We ended up 6-0 at half. We only played the half. Had a dropped touchdown, and then we were in the red zone every single opportunity we had. We did get the victory. It was only a scrimmage, but it was a taste of victory that we hadn't had in a while. So I think that helped boost up the confidence level a little bit. It could have easily been 24-0. Our defense really did hold tight, and we had a couple instances where things could be a little bit better. We can identify what we're doing a little bit faster, but it's hard to do that when you just don't have the people to go against. You're not getting the first-hand look.
Right.
And so we've tried to replicate that this week a little bit better. By mixing up who is where and doing half lines and different things like that.
Yeah, very good. Take a break here before we talk to the young men around the table. We're brought to you in part by Steve Kurtzman and Associates at Innovative Recycling, 352 South Street in Gallion. Coach Tim Plumley at Mohican Sports Medicine in Bucyrus, and John Cross at Cross Carpet and Custom Floors, 302 North Seltzer Street, downtown Crestline. And Jake Bruce is up first. And Jake, it's good to see you again. You were looking pretty doggone tired a couple weeks ago when I saw you at Willard, and it was kind of a steamy night and a hot night, and we had a great conversation, and I appreciate that you would take the time to talk to me, and I enjoyed that interaction. And literally, you're not going to come off the field, I'm afraid, right?
No, sir. I was on the field.
Yeah, and you're taking on a new role from a lineman to the fullback, and that's a very important position in the triple option. Tell our fans what you're expected to do in that.
I'm expected to get the ball every play. I'm expected to plow some people over and hopefully score some touchdowns.
Yeah, that would be the good thing. And like Coach said, he would not want to get hit by you time and time again. And you and I talked about that, wearing down and almost putting into submission these guys you're going to get hitting. And you have to lay that groundwork early in the game and say, get used to this, pal, because it's going to happen all night long. Did you feel better from that jump from the Willard scrimmage to Hilltop, that you had a little more confidence in yourself?
Yeah, I definitely felt it. It was a lot easier to get my reads, to figure out where I need to go, cutting off my linemen and getting more yards.
And from a conditioning standpoint, did you feel a little stronger in that one compared to the first one?
It was a lot easier to breathe during the Hilltop.
Yeah, very good. Well, enjoy it. I'm sure we'll talk again this season, and best of luck to you. Next up, we have Aiden Rogers as a senior, and that is right, correct? Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought maybe I wasn't talking to the right guy.
No, that's right.
You're a senior, an lineman on both sides of the ball, tackle or guard?
Guard.
You're a guard, and then a tackle on defense. Yeah. Okay. And do you like this new offense? Does it fit you guys better?
Oh yeah, I love it. I think it's a lot better. I think it fits the amount of players we have better. It's a lot better.
So when I see the triple option, a lot of times it's heel to heel from a split stand, really tight splits. But I was a little surprised that I saw wider splits. What's kind of the mindset there?
Yeah, so we have 3 different splits that we use. It just depends on the play.
Oh, okay. All right. So depending on what the situation.
Yes, just depending on the situation, we use different splits.
Okay, very good. And do you think that your offense or your defense is a little ahead of schedule right now, where you thought it would be?
I think our offense is improving a lot.
Okay. And that's so important because you want to hang on to that ball.
We definitely hang on to the ball a lot more.
Yeah. If you could go maybe, only allowing the other team 1 series a quarter, I mean, that would be fantastic and really shorten that game up.
That's definitely the idea.
Very good. You feel good, healthy-wise, ready to go? Very good. Well, good luck to you. I'm sure we'll talk again. Trevor Shade, quarterback, is up next, and you're going to be playing some defense as well, right? Defensive backfield. But, you went through the offense with Coach King, and that was a little different, and different athletes now. And sometimes, new coach coming in, new offensive scheme, senior year, that's sometimes a tough pill to swallow. Have you kind of embraced it, though, in your role as a senior and as a quarterback?
Yeah, well, going into it, I knew it was going to be completely different than what it was last year. But it was just taking mental notes and getting all the practice I could, and that really helped me, learn.
In this offense, you're not going to be asked to throw the ball 60 yards, but it's more, to me, it seems like more of a mental, because you have to read that end and what he's going to do. Is he crashing down? Is he taking Jake? If so, you're going to pull, then you're going to look for one of your wings that are coming. Has that been an easy transition for you to kind of morph into more of that mental side of it and do more reading of the defense?
Yeah, well, last year on every run play was kind of like an RPO. So
okay.
It was, I didn't really pull it a lot, but, if the end decides to stay out and let me hand the ball off to Jake, then I just feel bad for the defense.
All right. Yeah, I would too. Now, but you're willing to do your fakes and tuck and run too, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I'll go out there.
You're not afraid to do that, and about the time they start really collapsing down on Jake or who else, that's the time you're going to pull it and run. Do you feel your deception's pretty good?
I think so.
All right. And you certainly have the speed, so you hit that corner. As long as you get maybe one block or spring something, you can make a big run. Are you going to be asked to throw very much, or that's going to be more limited?
It'll probably be limited.
Yeah, but just depends on the situation too.
Yeah, but if we throw, it's probably going to be for big yards.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, good luck. Enjoy it this week, and we will talk again for sure. Next up, Carter Jones is a senior and position that you're playing on the team?
Slot receiver and DB.
Slot receiver and DB, okay. So as a slot receiver, and your pal here, Trevor, said we probably won't throw very much. What else are you asked to do from that position?
I'm a slot in the triple option, so I'll be getting sort of handoffs on counter plays and pitches. I have to break it to the outside, come off of blocking butts.
How much do you feel, not only the team, but you personally improved from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2?
I didn't get to play in scrimmage 1.
Oh, you didn't?
I did not.
Okay, you were
I
just...
was out of state, yeah.
Okay, all right. So how do you feel that you did in the second scrimmage?
I felt great. I had 1 touchdown.
Good for you.
I felt great.
Good for you. Defensively, we talked, and the other guys talked a little bit about maybe the offense being ahead. Does that concern you going into week 1 that you may struggle a little bit there, or you feel pretty good about that?
I love defense.
You like to hit?
I love defense.
All right. Well,
Every
good.
part of it.
Good. Well, you enjoy it, and I appreciate you coming out. Next up is Mason Lash, a senior, and Mason was here 2 weeks ago because you're also running cross country. And when we talked last time, how you're going to manage that, and that's a lot of running in cross country, and then what you're doing on a football team. But you don't have any concerns about that, do you?
No, I think it is.
You might be the best, most in shape person in Crawford County, so that's a good thing. Position that you're playing on the team?
I'm defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. All right. Anything on offense or not at this point?
Not really.
Okay. So that's an integral role that you got to hold up your guy. You got to get through. How do you feel that defense is progressing? Is it getting better?
I feel like it's a lot better than it was last year.
All right. And are you prepared for the physical side of it that's going to be coming at you time and time again? You're ready to hold the line and do what you need to do?
Yeah, I think I am.
What are you looking forward to most this Friday?
One of the guys on their team is in my lab, and I go to Pioneer.
Okay.
So I know him, and
All right.
Decided to go against them.
So maybe a little chatting in between plays?
Yeah.
All right, well, that'll be a lot of fun. We look forward to that. So thanks for coming out. And finally, Wyatt Cheney's here, and appreciate you coming out. And you're playing on the line, both sides?
Yeah.
Okay, tackle?
Guard.
Guard, okay. All right, so you're the guard as well. And kind of the same question that I had for Aiden here. Do you enjoy the offense, the new offense? Do you embrace that?
Yeah.
What's most fun about it?
Definitely double teaming.
Double team. Okay. All right. That's so. When you call the play in the huddle, you're like, okay, here's my time. I get to do this. When you watch the film, I assume you watch the film at Hilltop. Yeah, you were playing, but you see more when the eye's in the sky. What did you like about the improvement from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2?
We were definitely more aggressive from 1 to 2, defensive wise. And I feel like we've definitely fired out towards the offensive line more second scrimmage than first scrimmage.
Good. Buckeye Central coming up this Friday on the road. That's a team that just never hangs their head. We'll talk about with Coach Gary here, Coach Gary Wright here in just a moment, but they never hang their head. They're going to play to the final. Zeros on the board. What's your biggest concern about them?
We're going to play same as hard as they are, so.
Yeah? Just get after it. All right, well, good luck to you. Take one final break before we finish up with Coach Wright here. The show is brought to you in part by Terry Gribble and Associates at your Gallion Community Center YMCA, Dr. Erica Schieber, Bucyrus Veterinary Service, 222 West Mary Street, Bucyrus, Rod Steiger and Associates at Pizza Hut, Gallion and Bucyrus, host of our show since 1992. Luann Krebs at River's Edge Embroidery, Screen Printing and Signs, the official phone board t-shirt provider, Route 309, across from the Marion Depot. Coach, before we talk just a little bit about Buckeye Central, briefly tell me about the concept of Hoka-Hey.
So
Because that's your battle cry
yeah,
this year.
so Hoka-Hey means basically don't leave anybody behind. And so that's our mentality. We're going to pick up our brother, as we say. So if they're struggling, then we're going to encourage them to do better.
Yeah, very good. And it's the cry that was used at Little Bighorn, right?
Yes.
If I understand correctly. So that's great that you have a mantra and something that you're hanging your hats on. Buckeye Central on the road. Coach Chad Jensen will be on the other sideline. You lost to them last year, 45-12. They went 2-8. They only lose 5 seniors. Their numbers are up a little bit. They have 15 letter winners returning, 9 on offense, 8 on defense. They're experienced in a lot of positions, great effort, they're coachable, they're versatile. Derek Dean returns at quarterback, 818 yards in the air with 9 touchdowns. Manny Mullins returns at running back, 230 yards, 2 TDs on 54 carries, and caught another 23 passes for 286 and 5 touchdowns. It's a pretty well-rounded team. What's your biggest concern with them?
They're going to pass the ball a lot. That's what they beat us on last year. So I expect to see more of that. Actually, the quarterback got most of his yards the very first game against us.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think it was like 400 yards or something like that. It was ridiculous. But I assume they'll come out and try to do that again.
You go through your walkthrough tomorrow. What would you say your expectation for this team is and these kids that have put their heart and soul, kind of being out there with low numbers and saying, you know what, we're going to play Crestline football. What's your expectations for them?
Leave it all out there. Don't play the regret game. We've got what we have, and we know that. We've had it for a couple of years now. So we just have to play to what we're capable of playing to.
Yeah, and I think I said that to Jake at that time at the scrimmage, empty the tank, right? And you don't want to leave any gas in it. And I heard something interesting yesterday. I was listening to a speaker that I listen to quite often, and he said, it's really about circumstance. And it's about what you're made of, not really the circumstances, what I should say. And you look at, and he used the concept of a potato and an egg. If you put an egg in boiling water, it turns hard. If you put a potato, it's soft. It's about the makeup of the person, not the circumstance. The circumstance of the boiling water was the same. It's how you reacted to the circumstance that defines who you are. So I would leave that with you. And as Coach said, leave it all out there. Enjoy it and have a lot of good times with it. And we will talk, hopefully, with Coach Windland next week about that game and your upcoming game against North Baltimore. So I appreciate you guys coming out.
No problem.
Before we release here tonight, I want to let you know we have Cleveland Guardians baseball. Last game of the season against the Detroit Tigers. That's on our air on WQEL. Just getting ready to start right now. Tomorrow, we actually have high school football starting tomorrow. It'll be the WQEL game tomorrow night. Mohawk at Tiffin Calvert with Josh Stallings. And that will be on at 7 o'clock. Friday night, full slate. At 7 o'clock on WQEL, we'll have Mississinawa Valley at Bucyrus. That'll be on WQEL. On our sister station, WBCO, it'll be Crestline at Buckeye Central. You can also watch the game on the OH Report with our commentators with the audio portion of that, and it'll be Davy Jones and the Friday night phone board at approximately 9 o'clock. Saturday, we have Cleveland Guardians baseball at the White Sox, home to the White Sox, pregame 5:35, and the Guardians against the White Sox on Sunday with pregame right around 11:35. I want to thank everyone here at the Galleon Pizza Hut, especially our manager, Michelle Burris. Madison was our server tonight. Appreciate her. Thank you so much to John Kreider, our camera operator tonight. Thank you to Galleon football coach Matt Dick and his team, Colonel Crawford football coach Jake Bruner and his team, and Crestline assistant football coach Gary Wright and his team. And thank you to all our sponsors, most of all you for tuning in on the Crawford County Now YouTube page and the WQEL Facebook page. For WQEL Sports, this is Mike Sparks reminding you, spirit with a vision is a dream with a mission. Have a good night, everybody.